Hello friends, welcome to a short-term online course on exploring pointers in C, and my name is Kotresh Marali, working as assistant professor in the Department of E&C SDM Engineering College, Dharwad. So let us go through the objectives of this particular course. Mainly in this course we will focus on how to and when to use the pointers, understanding the importance of pointers with respect to memory, and at the end of this course, students will be able to write a simple C program wherein which they can write a simple C program to access the data or the information from the variable through the pointer variable, or the second one is uh, they can write the C program to know the size of the different data types. They will also understand how to fetch the address of any variable through the pointers. With this, we will see the outline of this particular course. Basically, we will study why pointers are required, and next we will understand how to declare a pointer variable and how to declare the character data type, integer and float as a pointer variables. All these points will be covered using a suitable examples through a demonstration on a C compiler, and in this video I will be using Dave C++ compiler. Probably most of us we feel when someone says the programming is easy, and yeah, even we used to feel during our engineering days. So the only one and only solution to come out from that phobia is to work and work and work. And my sincere suggestion is we always should try to write a program, compile it, and try to find out the errors in your program, debug the errors, and then try again, and try again. That's how one can understand the programming part very easily, and we can come out from this particular phobia also. Now, the first question is why pointers are required. Before addressing why pointers are required, let me address you why C has become so popular. The reason is C is very near and dear to hardware, because I can access or store a data from the memory to the memory in with respect to C programming. When I say that memory, to operate any data, to store that particular data into the memory or to fetch the data from the memory, always I need one instruction which will talk to my memory all the time. So in this concern, we will be using pointers for this particular addressing the memory. So hence, I think in the slides to go, we'll know about more and more on pointers and how these pointers are used to access or store the data from the memory and to the memory. Okay. Now, to make you more easily understand why pointers is, I have a small analogy where you can understand the very fundamental definition of pointers. Here is a one particular story that I have created to make you understand. So this is the Mother Tom missing her a little Tom, and which was kidnapped by this Jerry. And you know that there is always a fight between this Tom and Jerry, and this time it is by kidnapping the little Tom. And now Tom, the mother Tom, is asking, "Where is my little Tom?" And the Jerry answers, "It's in 0x52A13253." And this is straightforwardly it is telling that it's just giving an hint or address where the little Tom has been kept. Now the mother Tom walks through the address to find her little Tom, and now you can imagine that music ting 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 to view her mother, little Tom. Yes, the mother Tom walked through this particular address. Now she found her little Tom, and now she is happy. And this is what we call it as pointers. And in this case, Jerry is nothing but a pointer, as it was holding the address of the little Tom. Hence, the pointers are used to access the information from the memory. And here the information was little Tom, and the address was placed in the Jerry, and hence Jerry acts as a pointers. So with this brief analogy, and we will move ahead with the concept of pointers. Okay, now the first concept is all about how do we declare a variable, how do we store a data in the memory. So first and foremost, all the time you have to assume the one memory block. There exists a one memory block. I'll call this as a memory block, and now I'll try to store some data. In this example, I took 10 as a data, where it is a content that is going to be present in my memory, and I will name this particular memory block as X. So this is X is a variable, or X is nothing but the name of the memory block. Now anyways, the each and every memory must have some address, and they here 2000 represent the address of the memory. Now, this is how whenever we try to represent a data, so at that particular data has to be stored in one particular memory block, and that particular memory block should have some name, and here in this case we call it as a X, and every memory should have some address. So that is what the address of the memory. In this case we have chosen 2000 as the memory address. Now how do we write this in the programming forum? So in the programming model, I assign X is equal to 10, and it must be denoted with a perfect data type. Here I am trying to represent that X is a variable which holds the integer data. So that's what the meaning. Now let us try to understand how data is stored in a variable, one thing. Second, how I can access the address of that particular variable through a programming. Here is one such example where we try to write a simple C program to print the address of a variable. Now I is a variable which is declared as an integer data type with value is equal to 4. Now I want to print the value. How do I write this? I want to print the address of this particular variable. So whenever I say that address, I will be making use of inside the printf statement. Inside the printf statement, I will be making use of this P. The P stands for the unsigned integer, or it is a pointer it is nothing but a point. It is nothing but a pointer which always points to an address. So now I want to access the address of I. So there exists a one more operator, you know it already in the basics of C, that is ampersand. Ampersand, this is not and, we call this as a ampersand operator. Ampersand of what? Ampersand of I. Here the ampersand inform the compiler stating that give me the address of this particular variable. That is what, through percentage p I fetch the address of I. Next, if at all I want to know the content that present in that particular variable, this is a straightforward printf statement. Value of I is equal to percentage %d and I write I. What is this? It is the variable. I want to know the content that is going to be present in this particular variable. So now we will move to a simple demonstration of the same program in dev C++ and we'll try to understand here. Okay. Okay. So now I'll copy this code. Sorry. I'll copy this particular code. Now I have a dev C++ here. I will paste here. Now see here, this is a dev C++ environment. Okay, if at all I just close all. Okay, I just close this. Yes. Now file, go to new source file. So this is how it looks, the editor window, and write a simple C program. For the to save the time, I just copy paste the program here. Okay. Here go to execute option, compile and run option, and if at all you want to go with a single go, you can also go for compile and run. You can also see the equivalent the shortcuts here. Okay, and also we have the same thing here on the taskbar. So now let me compile. So before the compilation, it is me asking me to save this program. Let me write a p1.c, save the program. It already exists in my computer already. Let me say p11 here. Okay, and save this program, run. Now you can observe here the first printf statement is all about obtaining the address of this particular variable, and here is the address 62fe1c and the content of that particular variable is 4. So this particular program is a simple program just to demonstrate you the importance of, or how to access the variable address through ampersand I, and how to access the variable. And one important point here, it is percentage p is used to fetch the address of variables and percentage d is used to fetch the value of the particular address. Okay, now let us try to understand this particular program. Let us find the output of this program. What is the output of this particular program? Now here there exists a int x is equal to 5 and ampersand x equal to 7. Okay, can we write like this? See here, see ampersand x is nothing but a operator, or it is nothing but a assignment operator, right? So it is assignment operator. When the one point you should understand here, you cannot use an assignment operator on the RHS side on the LHS side of the equation. You have to assign. See, whenever I use ampersand of something variable, that must be present on the RHS side, and this value has to be assigned, and it must be assigned to some other variable here. Let me assume that it might be j, k, anything. So I cannot use it on the RHS side. In this particular program, so this is straightforward. It will going to give you an error. The reason is ampersand x is an assignment operator and it must be assigned to some variable. One point. So other important point is since ampersand x, see, whenever I try to write, I am trying to store 7 in the memory, right? Okay. Now it must be some variable. Along with, in this case, along with the variable, there exists a one more operator which is syntactically wrong because we cannot store anything in ampersand x as ampersand x is not a variable. One point. Second important point, ampersand x is a way to represent the address of the memory block, not an variable. That's it. So here with this I'll come back with the next session where we try to understand the declaration of the pointer variable. Till that, keep watching my videos in the YouTube. So thank you. I'll be back soon.